Now, the decision for Anthony Martial to continue for 9 minutes after suffering a head injury for Manchester United's Watford continues to be a talking point. We can speak to Luke Griggs from the Headway Brain Injury Association. Luke, very good morning to you. Do you have any concerns about the protocols not being followed in this instance?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that it's not about one particular incident or one particular club. We have increasing concerns about the way in which protocols are being adopted across football when it comes to concussion. Over the past couple of seasons, we've seen numerous high-profile incidents where a player has had a head injury, been assessed and allowed to continue, only then to be removed from the field of play a short while later, showing more clear-cut signs of concussion. That can't be right. The protocols of football when it comes to concussion are clear in that if a player is suspected of having a concussion, they must be removed from the field of play and not allowed to continue. And we are concerned that safety first, if in doubt, sit it out approach isn't necessarily being adopted in all cases.
OK, now, Kasper Schmeichel was rested by Leicester. Does that give you confidence that some clubs, and in some instances, the guidelines are being followed?
Yeah, and it's not just, Kasper Schmeichel, which was a good example about a club taking a safety-first approach, but also last season we saw with Mitrovic from Newcastle United and Mamadou Sakho in the League Cup final even, being removed when a concussion was suspected. So there are some very good examples about concussion protocols being followed. But it's vital that that happens across the board and a consistent approach is taken, particularly for the millions of impressionable youngsters who are watching the sport who need to be sure that they follow their idol's path and they take that if in doubt sit out approach, because these guys and these kids do not have doctors on the pitch assessing them to see if they're actually safe to continue. So it's vital that the right message is set for everyone who follows the game.
Sure. Now, this sounds like an idiotic question, but just tell us, what are the dangers of playing with concussion?
Well, one of the real dangers, concussion is a temporary disturbance of the brain's functioning. And if you continue to play after you've had a concussion and then you suffer a secondary knock, that secondary knock can significantly exacerbate the damage to the brain and cause you real problems. And one of the issues you have here with concussion is it tends to be an evolving injury where the signs and symptoms may take some time to present themselves. So you could be playing on without actually necessarily showing any of those signs, certainly the more visible ones, such as loss of balance or vomiting, or in the rare occasions, a loss of consciousness. And I mean, that's another key thing to say, that only in around 10% of concussions is there a loss of consciousness. So looking out for that one key indicator is not a sensible way to go. So it's very much important to protect someone while their brain is recovering from that initial minor traumatic brain injury, to sit it out and rest and recover before going back into the field of play.
Luke Griggs, great pleasure to speak to you and get your expertise. Luke Griggs from the Headway Brain Injury Association. Thank you.